When it comes to doing your taxes, many people have a wide range of emotions. You'd have feelings of exuberance because you know you're going to get something back. You have feelings of fear because you're not necessarily certain you did everything right. You could have feelings of adventure. We're going on an adventure to do our taxes. We're going to do these things right. You could also have feelings of, I'm not exactly sure what the hell is going on in life, especially with these taxes. But above all else, for the Wang family, it's about coming together right now in Everything Everywhere All at Once, written and directed by the Daniels, Dan Kwan and Daniel Schneidhart. I hope I said that right, but they also wrote and directed Swiss Army Man, where Daniel Radcliffe was a corpse. Remember that? Remember that movie? If you like that movie, this movie's really goddamn bizarre. It comes to us from A24, my favorite goddamn studio in the entire world. There's A24 and there's Neon Studios. And they're almost 1 and 1A, but whenever A24's label is on the goddamn marquee, you bet your goddamn ass I'm at least going to end up seeing it on streaming. But in the case of this, when I found out it was getting a wide release, I absolutely had to see it because it looked so goddamn bizarre, and I was curious to see what exactly the trailer intrigued me. One, as Michelle Yeoh delivering the performance of her fucking career. She's had a lot of great performances. I've loved her since Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. She plays Evelyn Wang, who is just trying to get her taxes done. She's trying to do the right thing with the family business and take care of her family, trying to listen to her husband, trying to be there for her daughter. And also, since her father flew in from China, and boy, are his arms tired. James Hong, by the way, who's Gong Gong. I do apologize if I mispronounce any of these actors' names, by the way, as I'm not very good with foreign names. But James Hong, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's been in a lot of movies, but I believe he was the cook. The guy said, I bet you lunch in The Fifth Element. I swear that was him. If not, I do apologize. But he's in this, and he has a terrific supporting role. Jamie Lee Curtis is in this. God damn, Jamie Lee Curtis is having a career resurgence. Curtis, oh boy, that was a really, really bad pun that landed with a fucking thud. But you have Stephanie Su, HSU, and she plays Joy Wang, who is the daughter of Evelyn, and it turns out she's actually gay, and she's not sure if her family will accept. She's definitely not sure if her grandfather will accept, and since being from a different generation, these things could sometimes cause issues, among the family. But as I say, Stephanie actually delivered a really good performance here, too. And there's Wayman Wang, Ke-Hugh Kwan. Again, I apologize for that. I've seen him and stuff, too. There was so much shit happening in this movie, so many things going on, that any of the performances I remember these other actors having besides Michelle Yeoh, it's all going to blend together because this movie is insane. It's insane, but at its core, it's about family. I will get into spoilers in a little bit, but if you thought the trailer was bizarre, just you wait. It gets really, really insane. It also is one of the most emotional movies that I've seen in a while. If you are a somewhat long-time subscriber, you may remember me reviewing a movie called 18 Presents. That was a beautifully done Italian Netflix original that was about a mother and daughter coming together since the daughter grew up without her mother after her mother passed away shortly after giving birth to her. And it was emotional and gripping, and I'm going to start talking about it because I'm going to start crying again because it just really gripped me, and it was really great writing and terrific acting. In this, they figure out the perfect balance of bizarreness, just strangeness, off the wall, nutcase shit, yet also having so much emotional punch you will not, and not even like getting punched in the gut, just an emotional punch where it's just like, wow, this is really hitting me. It is a beautifully told story about family and appreciating what you have and understanding that not everything's going to work out the way you want, and just understanding that family is really what's important. You have to figure out what you love most of all. You have to figure out, what you can accept in life, and also recognize there are things you can't change. There are things, sometimes it could be about, we're in a familiar situation. Or other times it could be about recognizing that maybe you've been viewing things through tunnel vision, like your Princess Diana on August 31st, 1997. Oh, this is going well. Basically, Michelle Yeoh is she is the matriarch of this family. And her husband, Wayman, have a laundromat, obviously, because stereotype, but also because laundromats can make a lot of money. The thing is, things aren't going all that well. Jamie Lee Curtis is Dedre. I knew I probably totally butchered that because my head's fucking swimming. But she's a kind of bitchy auditor. But Jamie Lee Curtis just plays with the perfect amount of snark. And she's doing her taxes, and basically the idea is what ends up happening, and this is going to be hard to do without spoilers, and I will get into spoilers here in a few minutes. But as this tax meeting is going on, it turns out there's a metaverse, and there's a whole bunch of other universes and stuff like that, and different versions of everybody in this goddamn thing, where some are good, some are evil, and there's this ultimate evil that Evelyn is the only one that can stop it. And that's pretty much it right there. It's also about doing your taxes. Have I mentioned that before? Because that's at the core thing. Always make sure to do your taxes. Otherwise, Mike Rotunda will come to get you. Any non-wrestling fans that are watching this have no fucking idea who Mike Rotunda is. But anyway, I'll just say it was a very taxing thing. You tax cheats. He's called Erwin R. Shyster. Erwin R. Shyster. Anyway, there were a couple shysters in this because, I mean, you got to have bad people in a movie like this, especially something that is about 2 hours and 20 minutes. Now, a lot of this flies by. I will say that there are a couple points where it goes a little bit down and maybe it's just kind of halts a little. And maybe just, screeches on the brakes a little bit too much. I mean, you can't hit people over the heads constantly with all the bizarre stuff happening. But we get to see all these different universes where people can tap into their alternate selves and gain abilities, or they can do this stuff and they can stop this ultimate evil. And some people, they can't walk in one particular universe, can walk in another. One person doesn't know Kung Fu, the other does. And then some people have hot dogs for fingers. No, really, that was something that actually occurred here. I'm not even describing it as bizarre as it actually is. It is just such an amalgamation of insanity, yet beautiful cinematography, great writing, very, very emotional acting. Michelle Yeoh, I cannot praise Michelle enough. She was fucking fabulous. If she does not get at least a fucking Golden Globe nomination and at least a win for this, it's disappointing. A24 knocked it out of the fucking park here. And I mean, they're already on a great roll when, with doing X that just came out and I'm not talking about Ecstasy, but X, the movie X. And they got Men coming out. Not It's Raining Men, Hallelujah, It's Raining Men, but a movie that's called Men that comes out on May 24th, or May 20th rather. And they are they're really kicking up a notch. I got Hereditary, I got Midsommar, or Midsommar, however you want to pronounce it, and also Saint Maud on Blu-ray. And I was absolutely captivated by this from beginning to end. Now, it's really, really funny at times. It's so bizarre because you get thrown in a situation like that, how the hell are you going to react? But you get to see just what somebody will do to keep their sanity in an insane situation and also, do what they can for their family. And that's really what it comes down to. It's about the love and acceptance between family, but also understanding that you can't just do things that somebody else wants you to do. You have to put ego aside in some instances, and then other instances you have to kind of swallow your pride and realize other people have things they want to do. And that's really what it comes down to. I can't talk about this without spoilers, and also I don't even necessarily know if I'm going to be able to do the spoilers properly, but we're going to try this here in a bit. But also Jenny Slate was in this. She was in Venom. The beautiful brunette that was in Venom. And it's just really, really goddamn good. It's fucking incredible. Again, cinematography, direction, writing, great performance by Michelle Yeoh. It's just great stuff. And Stephanie did a great fucking job here. Great acting, in layered stuff here. They balanced stuff that shouldn't have been able to be balanced. Had you not had A24's, ability to back and, go with projects like this, had this been another studio that wasn't willing to take chances, maybe outside Neon Studios, and I think A24 is the only one that could pull this off. I don't think you would have been able to get anywhere close to just how nuts this movie was, yet how grounded it ended up being. I haven't loved a movie like this, really, since watching Last Night in Soho, even though I've loved a lot of movies this year. This may end up being my Last Night in Soho, where it's already number one. And Last Night in Soho, if you ever watch my countdowns, spoiler, it was my favorite movie of last year. Check that out, by the way. But this is fucking terrific. Incredible work by everybody. Seriously, hats fucking off Great stuff. Also, make sure to do your taxes. Let's get into spoilers. It's in theaters now. 3, 2, 1, spoilers! So yeah, anyway, it is in theaters right now. Okay, so basically Evelyn and her Wayman is basically, when him and Evelyn got together, they were young, and her dad just kind of let her go. Like, oh, you want to go off and dishonor the family? Fine, whatever. Go to America, not to stay with your family. It is what it is. So she's always had this bad relationship with her dad. Contentious, shall we say. Her daughter's gay and wants to feel accepted, but also wants to do her own thing. Since Evelyn did not have the best relationship with her dad, and he kind of just let her go, she wants to be protective of her daughter, even though she understands that she is an independent spirit. She wants to make sure she doesn't let her go, because she doesn't want to push her away. And then there's Wayman, who's really just a nice guy, super nice guy that uses his words and talks things out and stuff like that. And everybody's got their different things that they do. Evelyn's got a lot of stuff going on inside. Jamie Lee Curtis is terrific as the auditor. And then it just gets really weird once we get into the metaverse stuff. There's some earpiece stuff that you kind of like slam the button over. You think about where you want to go. Oh, I know Kung Fu. Show me. And then you can suddenly, imagine like your least favorite foods, like hot dogs. And then you could have, you could have hot dogs like for fingers. This is actually something that is explored in a alternate universe with Jamie Lee Curtis's character, Michelle Yeoh's character, where they're together in that universe, and then a whole bunch of other stuff's going on, and then Wayman is with her in one universe and not, and then there's this one where he is successful, but she didn't go with him and go to America, and she became a very famous actress, and then they were like debating, it was almost film noir-like. Meanwhile, this amalgamation of all this stuff, and all this hate, and all these people that are getting killed off, various versions of Evelyn and various versions of other people, is the daughter. It's the daughter. Jobu Tupaki. Had to write that down because otherwise I wouldn't have remembered that. And Stephanie obviously plays her. She has some pretty good scenes where she has learned everything and she knows that nothing matters. And so it's like learning everything in the world. And even at one point she beats up some cops and pulls out a lucha maneuver and actually hits a pile driver, and it's actually pretty good stuff. And it also doesn't hurt that Stephanie is quite beautiful. But never mind that, she can really act and does good stuff here. And it's all about the family coming together. It's all about Evelyn realizing that, she has not, that while she has done her best to be the best mother, best wife, she hasn't been. Wayman was willing to give her a divorce because he felt like he dragged her into this and that it wasn't going to end up working. After so many goddamn years. He didn't want to hold her back. He felt like he was a disappointment to her. And then there's a grandfather, Evelyn's dad, but Joy, mixing up the names there. The grandfather, who is kind of just there as a supporting character. Jamie Lee Curtis, so fucking terrific. She kind of becomes a bit of a, raging homicidal maniac. Did one particular scene. And also then there are points where after earpieces get broken, somebody has to jam something up their goddamn ass so they can, somehow plug into something. Plug. Do you get it? It's an award that looks like tax auditing award that looks like a butt plug. Why? Why the hell not? Also, at one point in them, one scene I was talking about where Joy got to do a whole bunch of stuff, she pulls out some weapons. They're shaped like dicks and she beats the cop with them. I don't know what the fuck was going on, why the fuck it was happening, but I fucking loved every single goddamn minute of it. Now, there's more stuff. I'm not going to be able to spoil every goddamn thing because so much stuff swimming in the head. But at the end of the day, what ends up happening is Evelyn realizes, okay, we got this tax meeting. We got to get this stuff going. We got this, I'm planning my father's birthday, celebration. And she has a talk with Joy, or Jobu. Hey, your kids can call you Hoju. I'll get back to you. And she has made an everything bagel. Took everything and put it in a bagel. Because why not? Why wouldn't you put everything in a goddamn bagel? And it's an amalgamation of all the information, everything. You walk into it, and then you're free to do what you want and probably die, because that's how it works. With a giant black bagel. And the special effects, by the way, I really should praise. The special effects, the costumes. This movie needs to be nominated for a lot of shit at the Oscars. Because it is just fucking incredible, the amount of detail. I didn't get a chance to check out The Green Knight that A24 did, and I'm disappointed. I probably should check that out at some point. And I also need to check out After Yang. But let's get back to this. Basically, Evelyn has to keep gaining these abilities, learn all this stuff and everything, so she can not fight her daughter, but earn her daughter's love, earn her daughter's respect, understand her daughter better, free her daughter from this sadness, this depression, because that's what it is. A lot of kids think they know everything, and nothing matters. People get depressed, and then this kind of stuff happens, and it's an allegory for all that. And then at the end of the day, or at the end of the movie rather, we get seemingly a fight between, or where, Evelyn's all upset, about the divorce thing, but she signs it because she just goes nuts. She bashes a window in the laundromat because she hates this place, and she's going all nuts. And then the husband talks to Jamie Lee Curtis, and they're given another week on their taxes. And all the while, Jobu's trying to get her to go with her, her daughter's evil alter ego, trying to get her to go with her, and she won't go with her, and she won't go with her, and eventually she just goes back to her life. And then she's got to free her daughter still, because her daughter's still attached to all this depression, all this stuff and everything, all this stuff that's boiling inside her. And then this giant spinny bagel just, it's like a tire. It's like if rubber made sense and you just had the tire just spinning like that. But people are going into it, all this cast of crazy characters, that Michelle Yeoh realizes after talking to her husband that he uses his words, that he's such a nice guy, that all this, she does it the way he does it. Talking, figuring out what works, and figuring out how to help them, and helps them. Fixes a guy's spine, helps somebody, with, a perfume that his late wife had. Spray that in his face, give him some happiness. Use the happiness, and then eventually she gets to her daughter, and her daughter's talking to her in the real world, and then there's this alternate universe and stuff like that. I just feel like I'm suffocated, all this stuff and everything. I want to go here, I want to do all this stuff. I want to get all this. I want to get away from this. But Evelyn recognizes that she doesn't want to push her daughter away. She doesn't want to let her daughter go, but she doesn't want to smother her. But of course, they have a big embrace because she realizes that even though her daughter has flaws, she has flaws, and that her daughter is still her daughter. And even if these few fleeting moments are just specks of the shadows and dust, Maximus, she will cherish those. That got me. And then they hug, and then everything ends, and everybody's happy. Also, there's this point where there's this alternate universe with two rocks with googly eyes on there. Yeah, the googly eye thing was really goddamn bizarre. A lot of shit to unpack with this movie. But yeah, eventually it ends up where everybody's together, taxes get done, everything's good, and then Evelyn, maybe still harkens to the multiverse, the metaverse, whatever it is. But then the movie ends. It's fucking wonderful. It's fucking goddamn A++. Because that's what I did for Last Night in Soho. If anything beats this as far as my favorite movie of the year, that is going to say something. We're in for a pretty damn good year. Now, I've seen 35 movies, including this one, in 2022 that were released this year. And this is my favorite of the year. Now, I'm not saying there won't be other good ones, but I will be shocked if something beats this. I fucking love it. A++. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.